Well, Jose, got you one? Yep.
Adam, can you sort of fill us in? We're talking about someone who a lot of people had as a lottery pick, and I know you always say, guys, maybe you had higher on your board. How surprised were you as the process went on? He was still there, and what's your thinking, if you can sort of get in the minds of other people, as to why would a top 8, 10, 12 player wind up at number 20?
Yeah, I think this draft was a little different. I think it was a pretty unanimous top 8 from our board, and I think most, maybe 9. But after that, I thought those players could have all been slotted different places. We slotted them different spots. Our talks and we went around, and our scouts, we had our guys in different places. So I think looking at this draft, it was a little unpredictable on like who would go higher or lower. So it's not surprising. So I don't know if he fell, but we didn't think he would be there. But I thought it was, we had him higher, obviously, than where we picked him.
He said he didn't work out for you guys. You just said you didn't expect him to necessarily be there. What was the pre-draft intel on him? How much do you guys kind of focus on him? And also, I guess, what stands out just about his playmaking, especially in pick and rolls?
Yeah. Well, we tried to get him in, but they didn't think they would be there at 20. We did spend time with him in Chicago. What stands out is his strong ball handling, ability to read and make plays, his toughness, and overall ability to get downhill and finish at the rim.
Adam, in this apron world where fewer and fewer guys, it seems like, are getting to free agency, like the big things happen in trades and signing trades and extensions and all those things. How important is it to hit the draft? And because this is somebody that, you can budget now for 4 years. You can, you know what the costs are, and maybe it wasn't so vital 3-4 years ago, and now it seems extremely vital. How important is the draft now in this apron world?
Yeah, it's important. We're trying to layer players, guys that are ready. We're bringing in young players. We've drafted players the last several years. We're trying to keep developing them. Some, as we know, we're are getting into our rotations, and the depth is important. Obviously, we've seen teams that were in the finals that played a lot of depth, played 10 guys, 11 guys. A lot of those players came through their draft. I think it was important for us to make this pick tonight. It keeps us. We're going to find another good player here on rookie scale. It's part of the new NBA, trying to continue to add players through the draft, probably more than before. Yeah.
Probably an easy moniker for people to write. Just put good playmaker on a guy's scouting profile. But what about the passes he can make did you guys like, and especially how those passes can affect everybody else around him on the court?
Yeah, I think what he did playing in the European Championships when he was the lead guard, coming over from the Barcelona program, and then getting to Illinois where it was a different system for him. He showed a versatility in his playmaking. He is a really good rim finisher, probably one of the top rim finishers of all guards in the draft, extremely efficient. But his handle's really strong. He understands the game really well. He is a true leader and someone who really can get a team organized, but also strong for himself to be a scorer.
It seemed like one of the key aspects about his game was in the pick and roll game, and obviously having guys like Bam and Khalil on this team. How much do you think that can elevate them, and especially with him working with veterans like that, like Bam?
Yeah, I think we're really happy with the young players we have, and now Bam is, we were sitting here several years ago with Bam as a young player, and now he's in his prime. I think he's done a great job with whether it was Khalil or Pella or Nico. Tyler is now a veteran for us. We have some other players that are veterans, but it's a good group, and I think Kaz is going to come in and fit. He's as good a gym rat as you'll find. The guy loves being in the gym. He doesn't really. He admitted he's not much on other things besides basketball, and he just really loves being in the gym. The Illinois coaches talked about, never having to find him. He was always there, always working. He loves diving into film. He'll be a great student for Bam and Tyler, and he's going to learn how to become a pro at after just 1 year at Illinois.
You shot like 32% on threes last season,
Yeah.
which doesn't obviously stand out, but you started the season well. I think it was shooting over 40%. They had like a forearm injury. How do you guys kind of view that part of his skill set?
Yeah, it's a good question. The shot he's projected based on our analytical numbers to become a really good shooter. His stroke is pure. He takes tough shots. I think, there's things of his game that he certainly has to work on, but you look at a player who turned 19 last month, and what he's accomplished at the junior levels, everywhere he's played, he's really been effective and efficient. There's, like I said, there's things he has to work on, but the shooting, I don't think is going to be any deficiency part of his game. I think that's definitely going to get better.
And then just defensively, just one question on that. He obviously has size, but how do you guys kind of project him as a defender?
Yeah, we study majority of these players lack defensive skill and technique that's needed at an NBA level. What he has is a toughness to him. He has an edge. He has an IQ. I think when you combine those skills, I think he'll be able to be a tough learner of our defensive systems, and I think he'll be able to defend at a high level in our league.
The turnover rate seemed a little high, but when you've got a guy like this who, like you said, he sees the game, he reads the game, he can make these passes, is some of that a good thing in a way that he's trying things and experimenting as well?
Yeah, Cooper, that's a great question. He certainly, the numbers are higher than you want, but he's high usage and he's processing things and the adjustment. We saw it with other players that had come over from the European programs that came to college for the first time, and it's a small sample. They're playing 30-plus games. He did have an injury. The turnovers are high, certainly, but I think they're turnovers that you can work with. I think those are correctable. They're teachable to see the game. But if you just, we watched all his film, and he's making good reads out there. He's making plays. It's a learning process where you're learning to become a scorer, which he has. He's a very good scorer. He can get downhill and also making reads, and that's just part of a learning process.
Brad Underwood said toward the end of the season, and they referenced it on the broadcast, that this is the type of kid that's going to be better when he gets around NBA guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that? Do you see what he means?
Yeah, I would hope so, and he's coached well, hard. Coach Underwood is a very good teacher, and he's tough on his guys. We see tremendous potential with Kaz, and you're talking about a 6'5" and 3/4 +3, good athlete, but with a high IQ. And so if you combine all those things, I mean, with a work ethic, I think you can mold. There's no reason why you can't mold him into a very good NBA player, and I think that's why we were attracted to taking him tonight.
All right, Adam. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you all for staying. Appreciate it.